Lost my husband, couldn't do nothing about it. But blowing bubbles helped me degree. I learned from a therapist that is an acceptable form of clinical therapy. They actually do bubble therapy in psychology. Feels good, huh? And you cannot blow bubbles and be mad at the same time. It's impossible. I dare you to try it.
So what is it about blowing bubbles that helps you through such a, as I would imagine, a difficult time?
2017, every breath felt like a release. Every time I had to exhale. And when you're going through something like that and there's nothing else you can do about it, just blew bubbles. And I learned from a therapist that is an acceptable form of clinical therapy. They actually do bubble therapy in psychology. Feels good, huh? And you cannot blow bubbles and be mad at the same time. It's impossible. I dare you to try it. It is a real thing.
Yeah, I actually, one time I was having a low energy moment or day, and I remember driving, and it was a traffic, red light. I looked to my left, and a bubble showed up, and then I looked, and it was those, because I was by the arena of the stadium where they're selling things, and there was some kid or some vendor with bubbles, and it was just all coming. I was like, this is something about this feels nice. And
that has happened to me so many times. I've been on the beach, and bubbles just float past me. Like, I attract bubbles. I love it.
So, blowing bubbles as a therapeutic practice, and that really helps you.
It really does. It really does. It helps so many people. I've been in the mall, seen a kid having a tantrum, and I break out the bubbles and start blowing bubbles, and I seen a 2-year-old shut down instantly. He's like, bubbles, tears still running down his face. And he's like, bubbles. Yeah. Like, you cannot blow bubbles and be mad. So
Why is that?
I don't know the why behind it. I just know it's real. It is a thing. So I use it. I travel the world giving away love and bubbles.
You know what I think it is? Like, when I do it, if I just experience it right now, it's like it activates some lightness and some kind of like wonder and just the things that relate to childhood.
Yes, you can mentally go back to a happy place. I'm 6 years old again. To a place where we did not yet have the traumas, to a place where we didn't have the bills and the responsibilities. Our biggest drama was trying to figure out which color to pick in the crayon box.
Yeah, it's like a mindfulness practice, because when you blow it,
for sure,
it's like you're watching something amazing be created.
Yeah.
All you did was do everything you do every day, which is you take a break.
Absolutely.
And then you see these multicolored artistic circles that look like God created.
Absolutely. Well, life started with breath. He breathed and life started. So it's a real thing. It has a spiritual weight to it. I really believe in it wholeheartedly. I practice it every day. I blow bubbles. Every day I try to give someone bubbles. And I don't just use it now. It's become more of a mission beyond the podcast. I literally just travel the world spreading love and bubbles because people are so hurt. And when you don't know what else to do, I don't know how to fix it, but here's all some bubbles.
And how do you introduce that to people? You just show up?
Sometimes, like a couple months ago, I went to LA. I had never been to the Pacific Ocean. And there were these teenagers they were dressed in blue, but they were on the beach. And I'm out there blowing bubbles.
Like dressed in blue, like Crips?
Possibly.
Okay.
And they asked me.
Do they have bandanas on?
Some of them. And they were like, hey, mommy. They were Hispanic. They were like, hey, mommy, why you doing that? It's like, because you can't blow bubbles and be mad? You're like, can we blow some bubbles? And I had a whole bunch of these, and I gave them. And they were like, can we take pictures with you? They got excited. They got into it.
He's a grown man.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
It works.
Oh my God.
It works. That's why I was saying it's so disarming. Like, you can't blow bubbles and be mad.
Wow.
You can't.
I might have to pick this up as a daily practice.
Do that. I'm telling you, for like 75 cents at, I think, Dollar Tree, you can get a big bottle. Like, where else can you go to therapy for $1? Nowhere. Look at all the colors. It's so pretty.
I just started therapy 2 days ago.
Perfect. Congratulations on taking that step. I love, like, people who take that first step. A lot of people don't ever get there. So I salute you for that. Awesome. That shows emotional intelligence to just say, I need help. That right there is a sign of maturity. Thank you for being a big boy about it. And I don't mean that in any, harmful fashion. Thank you for being a big boy about it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, this is, I really received that.
And now, you talk to entrepreneurs a lot, huh?
Yeah, people that have, they're visionaries. They're not, doesn't mean something grand, but they're creating something in the world. And oftentimes those tend to be entrepreneurs.
Yes. I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years, and I have discovered my gift for helping. Now, I've been a strong administrator and organizational, expert all my life. My mother, I thought she was being mean to me when I was a kid. She made me a beast at business. I can open a business in my sleep.
Really?
Yes. So one of the things that I found is I have this ability, I don't know what it is, where I know it comes from God, but people have problems and they say it around me, and I'm like, oh, try this. And they're like, I never would have thought that. I'm a solution master. It comes ideas come so I help people in business, especially creatives. So I'm also a singer-songwriter, and
That's your profession?
It's not my profession, but it's my profession. I'm a realtor.
Okay.
So I'm a real estate broker, but I have this artsy side as well. So I'm around a lot of artists who don't like business, and they don't have the aptitude to grasp it. So I've found ways to help people to get their business in order. And it might be as simple as filing copyrights, helping people set up their LLCs, and, just knowing how to structure a business. So I really want to create a business in a box, because right now it's just, I just freestyle everything, and I help people on the spot. When I see the need, I feel it. But I really love helping creatives to kind of find their footing on the business side so that they can turn their passion to a paycheck.
What is a practical step you can share that can really help people that are indecisive through all their creative gifts, figuring out what to do and how, what route to go and how, that paralyzed kind of, I don't know, I have so many
analysis paralysis,
yes,
I call
exactly.
it. I tell people, make a decision to make a decision. So, rule number 1.
Most of you guys probably don't blow bubbles the whole time consistently.
However it hits you, if you feel it, keep doing it.
Yeah.
If you just keep, like Neil just said in there, Nehemiah Davis, he gave us the bar from CJ. Don't get analysis paralysis and be addicted. No, he said, Marcus Rosier said it. You're addicted to information and education, but allergic to execution. So I'm an overcomer of this. I have a lot of gifts, and not even being boastful. I have a lot of natural abilities people study and work hard for, and I can wake up and decide to do it and do it with ease and skill. Okay. That there was also my curse. Because I'd be doing this and over here doing well and having fun, and then I'd start doing this and then having fun and doing well, and then I'd be here doing this and doing well and having fun. And guess what? I would never go past a certain point because I didn't stick to anything. So you got to laser focus on one thing. master that thing before you try to diversify. Because if you haven't mastered anything, you're going to be mediocre at everything. So that was, and I speak to that from experience because I was that person, but it was hard for somebody to challenge me because I was very good at all the things I did. I'm a sore loser, so I don't do nothing I'm not good at. So it was hard to convince me to change that mindset. I did all of it very good, but you could probably do one or two things with exception. So yeah, do that one thing, laser focus on one thing, drill down. You got to commit to the decision.
Like, I add like maybe a primary thing, and then maybe the 20% you could play around with this.
And I also learned from David Shands. So you hear a lot about having multiple streams of income.
Yes.
Well, I was walking in what I thought was the ideal of that principle. But no, that principle doesn't say, Karonna, be a nurse, be a carpenter, be a painter, I had it wrong. So as a real estate broker, I'm a carpenter by trade. So got into flipping houses and I got my license to, okay, now I'm going to save on commission. I'm going to do this. So I now know how to help investors and I have multiple streams of income from that. I teach investors how to invest. You got money. That doesn't necessarily make you an investor. Everybody with a 401k is technically an investor. You want to invest in real estate. Okay, I can show you better than every other agent or most other agents because I've been a carpenter for 26 years. And I know what
26 years you've been a carpenter?
Yes. Yes. Am I doing the wrong math? Since 1996. Yes. So
you got a lot of skills.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and I served a 4-year apprenticeship. So I'm not just, I did it for a hot minute. I really am trained at this. So everything that I do up to the point when I started the podcast was around the real estate and the construction. Either me helping people, I can do consulting. I can teach you how to set up and structure your real estate investment business, to what to look for, how to patch holes. When I'm like selling somebody a house, I can literally on purpose knock a hole in the wall so that I can teach you how to fix that wall. Why would you pay somebody that's going to charge you $500 for something that will cost you $12 if I take you to Home Depot and show you what to get? So those were my multiple streams of income came from that one thing.
Carpentry. As a base, and then you were like, all right, I'm helping you investing. All right, I got to develop your business. All right, I got a podcast.
So now my podcast and business is one of my pillars, but it's not my central focus. I primarily talk to business people who are entrepreneurial mothers who are overwhelmed in life. So yes, I try to stay in my lane because the podcast can be so creative and fluid that I can just veer off. But yeah, I try to stay kind of in a lane.
Try to practice what you preach.
Yes. But the podcast allows me to have that creative freedom if I want to, because that's my passion project right now. I'm turning it more into a business because I'm using it as a platform because I wrote a book. And the book is called Residue, Growing from Crush to Crushing It. So it's just a platform that helps me to talk about my book and my journey, my testimony. I'm giving 7 stories in here that were, so I have a thing, I'm a neat freak, right? And I travel. When I come home, everything gets put away like immediately. I went to Florida last year in January for a funeral. I was amazed that it was like 85 degrees in January. So I went to the beach for the last 2 days. I was down there in Miami. And I was so tired from swimming that when I got home, I left my suitcase at the bottom of the bed. Next morning, I get up to go to the bathroom. I tripped over that suitcase. I get in the bathroom and I bust out laughing. I said, what other bags are you tripping over? Chapter 1 was written that day because it made me really go introspectively and look like, You thought you dealt with that. It's still holding on to you. You thought you were over that, but you're not really. Oh, you thought that you got past that, but that triggered you last week, right? Yeah. So it's the things that you thought you dealt with that they still have a little bit of hold on you. That's your resident. So you haven't healed. Right. So I talk through the way that I identify my residue, and I isolated it, and I put it over here where it needed to be. I still remember it, but now it doesn't have a hold on me. I have control of it now because I faced it. You cannot fix what you don't face. So, and then my posture for forgiveness. I had struggles with that, and I didn't realize it. Again, thinking you're over something. And then I committed myself. I said, you have to love yourself enough to forgive anybody who hurt me. That right there, that's like part of my affirmations. Love yourself enough to forgive anybody who hurt you, because they went on with their lives. They don't think about you. Especially if it's a narcissistic type person, they don't even remember or acknowledge that they did anything to hurt you. You got to love yourself enough to forgive them, because it's keeping you up at night. You got to also. They don't care. So
what's one way people can tap into forgiving themselves when you have that as a difficult?
Man, one of the things that I do breathing, breath work.
Okay.
I definitely do breath work. Blowing bubbles is the lowest entry point for me of breath work, but I studied breath work. Yeah, there's like it's a whole culture of breath work. Yes. It's in the mindfulness and the yoga type space. So breath work, really acknowledging the offense. You've gotten past the offense more than the person who offended you. Really looking at the offense, like, why are you more angry at the person than the offense? What is it about this thing? Just really, however you have to break it down and dissect it, analyze it. Go, however your brain processes things is going to be individual for every person. But that unforgiveness, that will have a hold on you more than anything else. Like anything else. And I'm telling you, I was almost murdered. Almost murdered. I had to.
Really?
Yes. So for me, I had to deal with that one quicker than anything else that ever happened to me, because it was my children's father.
Okay.
I have sons. I did not want my sons to grow up and feel like they were a product of that. I went out of my way to make sure they still looked at him in the highest regard. Because, yes, if I let my children think, my daddy ain't this, my daddy is that, he hurt my mom, whatever, anything negative, they see themselves, they see a reflection of themselves in their father. I wanted the best for my son, so I had to forgive him on a level that passed anybody else's understanding. When he was in jail, I used to go to Toys R Us and mail stuff to my house in his name, because I could not allow them. I loved them more than I felt anything for him. So it's a selfless.
I've never heard anyone be so committed to preserving the name of the father.
It was more preserving the future of my sons. It wasn't even, that's why I said I had to look at the offense, not the offender. Because he did what he did.
That must take a lot of something.
It was, I'm going to tell you, okay, somebody here said it. What you pour in, what you let come into your ears impacts everything you do. I was watching the Montel Williams show, and there was this lady on there, and it's been a long time. This incident where I was almost killed happened February 7th, 1993. But, so this how long ago this was. Montel had a show where he was talking to this lady about, it was some baby mama drama type stuff. And he corrected her on how she was acting with her children's father and how she spoke about him to their children. And he gave me those nuggets. Those aren't my words. Montel said, your sons see themselves in their fathers. So if you tell your sons or talk about him in front of your children, that's what they're going to think about themselves. So that seed was planted. So when, however long after that it was that I went through that was still there. And the seeds had taken root, and then it sprouted up when I needed it. So be careful what you put into your spirit. Protect your ear gates and your eye gates. The things that you watch, the things that you listen to, it impacts you. You don't know when it's going to come back. It's going to come back one way or another. So just be mindful what you take in. Sometimes we pay more attention to the foods that we eat than what we listen to. The content we consume. Pay attention to it all. It all matters.
All matter and all materialize.
It really does.
That was amazing.
You're welcome.
That is beautiful. You're a beautiful person. So much wisdom.
Thank you. I heard it.
So humble as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the God in me. It's the God in me. It's not me. I've been on my deathbed 3 times, and I understand that.
You've been on your deathbed 3 times?
3 times. The once I was almost killed, and twice I was sick.
It was that bad?
Yes.
Sickness.
Yes. So where doctors walked in my room scratching their head, I don't know what else to do.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I recognize that God didn't keep me just to say that. I have a purpose that's so much bigger than me. And it's almost a slap in his face if I don't get out there and share everything I can. I'm leaving it all. Anybody I can talk to, I'm telling you, I'm giving it all to you. However much time you give me, you're going to get it. Oh, get it.
Yeah.
I literally am this every day, because I could have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
So.
And now you're making sure your voice is heard.
I am. I'm making sure that somebody else doesn't give up, because they might be in the middle of their storm and they don't know. No, this is what it looks like. There was a time, chapter 4 in this book, it's called Mirror, Mirror. There was a time where after the incident where I was almost killed, my face was disfigured. I couldn't look at a mirror for a long time. You wouldn't know it looking at me now, but that was over 30 years ago.
So traumatic.
Yes. But let me tell you how good God is. Let me tell you how good my God is. When I was in that emergency room, all jacked up, the ER doctor, he touched me. He was like, hold on, I'll be back. This other doctor comes in. He touches me on my shoulder. He said, baby, I'm a plastic surgeon. I got you. In the emergency room, plastic surgeons don't do ER work. You see what I'm saying? So you got to know when you got a testimony, that your testimony is not for you. That's your gift to give to the world. It's my obligation to share it. I'm telling you. So you're going to get it. Everybody, you're going to get this work. Yeah. You can make it. I promise you. I promise you can. Just as long as you don't give up, you can make it.
Just keep going. So I'll definitely see you on some stages.
Thank you. Thank you. Woo!
Can I put your link to the description of your book?
Yes. ResidueBook.com. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
My name is Karonna J. Hosey. My name is everywhere.
Description.
Thank you. Blowing Bubbles Podcast. You can find me there. BlowingBubblesPodcast.com. You can also find all my information. I keep it simple. It's either Karonna Hosey or Blowing Bubbles Podcast. Thank you. Y'all stay popping.